Hello everybody. In this video, I'm going to be showcasing how easy it is to switch to Linux for beginners. This video is not going to be an installation tutorial or anything too advanced. This is going to be for the average Windows user as a demonstration of how easy it is to switch to Linux. So I have Linux Mint here loaded up in a virtual machine. This is this first startup screen. It's going to have this checked by default. I recommend you uncheck that because this gets annoying after a while. But anyways, first things first, you want to actually follow this. You just hit let's go, and there's going to be all these different things or options here. And you want to go through all of these things first. I recommend you go to the driver manager. You want to launch that. It's going to start scanning for drivers. And if you have like an NVIDIA machine, it'll find the NVIDIA drivers. For me, it's in a virtual machine. I didn't put any NVIDIA driver pass-through on this. That's fine. Then next, I recommend you set up system snapshots. This allows you to back up your system. So if you ever made a mistake or maybe an update broke your Linux installation, you could easily roll back. Okay, finish. All right, close that. Next up is the update manager. You just want to hit launch, and this just updates all your security stuff. You want to hit OK, and it'll just process all the updates. Install updates. Enter the password. So while that is installing, we can also take a look at this other stuff. And the first thing I want to bring attention to is the software manager. You want to launch that up. It's going to generate the cache. It's going to take a moment. And then after it's done, you'll see basically an app store for whatever software you could possibly want. You got your Discord, OBS, Blender, Dropbox, FreeTube, all sorts of stuff here. And the reason why I have this open is just to showcase you can get almost any web browser you want on here. In fact, I think the Zen browser should be on here. Yep, even Zen is on here. I'm going to install Zen because why not? I'm going to make a video on this soon. Anyways, what I mainly want to show is that for most people, the only thing you do is web browsing, that's going to work flawlessly on Linux. I have not seen a web browser not work on Linux. It comes with Firefox by default, and you just open up and you use this as normal. Let's say you're more of a Chrome fan, you can just go into the software manager, close that out, and then get Chrome or Chromium. I'm pretty sure Chromium, yeah, that's the first option here. I'd probably just type Chromium instead. You just install Chromium, or you can install Brave. Both of those are on here, which I really like how it's finally in the software manager. Last time I used Linux Mint was back when I daily drove it, and I don't remember Brave ever being inside of the software manager. Now, next, some people, when they use a computer, they mainly only use it for productivity. And luckily, Linux Mint is shipped with all sorts of Office software pre-installed. It got the LibreOffice suite, and it comes with basically a free and open source alternative to Microsoft Office, which we got Writer, Impress, Draw, and Calc. Basically, this is Excel. I'm pretty sure this is Docs or Office Docs. I don't think that's the right word. I haven't used Microsoft Office in a really long time, but point is you can use all of this, and it's very similar to normal Word. Oh, yep, that's what it was called. Microsoft Word. It looks like you can run this action. You can set this to make it look similar to Microsoft Word. I'm going to apply that to all. Wow, there's a lot of different stuff here. But yeah, this works very similarly. System is up to date. This is one of those times a reboot is required to install an update. Hit yes on that. Authenticate. Oh well. And you can change the desktop colors if you want. I'm gonna go with dark mode and a nice purple. I like that. Nice. Now, I should have Zen installed. And like I mentioned, if you only use like a web browser is going to work flawlessly on Linux. It's like, I haven't run into a web browser that doesn't work. But now, the next thing some people want to get into is gaming. And that, I haven't gamed on Linux Mint in a long time. It probably got easier. But all I did was, not stream, you want to install Steam. Here we are. You just install Steam. Go here, you hit install, continue, type in your password to authenticate, and it's just going to install it. It's going to work right out of the box, and Steam has its own Proton layer that will allow you to play all your games perfectly fine. There's a few online games or games with built-in anti-cheat that may or may not work, but for the most part, every single game I've ever played on Steam has worked perfectly fine. But for literally the most part, if you don't do anything other than web browsing and all this other stuff, That's how easy Linux is. Literally, you just install it, fresh install, and it just works. Got your web browsing, got all your internet, updating software. I think it showed right here, update manager. This will just update all of your software for you. And then, if you've noticed, I haven't used the terminal. It is right here if you need it, but I haven't needed it. That's how simple this is. This is not to deny, though, that Linux can get complicated, and it is fundamentally different to Windows. It works completely different to Windows, but at least in the case of Linux Mint, it is trying to mimic Windows, not become it. There's Bluetooth Manager. You can connect to Bluetooth devices, no problem on this. So basically, for the most part, you can expect this to just work. And I didn't even know this. It comes with a document scanner. That's cool. But that covers today's video. And I hope any of you who are interested in trying out Linux for the first time had some misconceptions broken or had some more clarity showcased.